riding a snowboard down a beach. A brilliant idea, in theory. But moving on from that, we decided to go out camping. We don't know where, and it's getting dark. It is dark. It's also cold. That's okay. We did, however, find a pretty cool lake. We thought, hey, we can go fishing here. We can't. It's too windy. No fish. So, we set up the tent. We had a drink. Wasn't too bad.
Vad stod det där?
Nej. Det står gå vin.
The morning was pleasant. We did, however, need some firewood. My friend's parents went through a divorce 9 years ago, and he's still dealing with it.
Klar?
Damn.
It was time to pack up and leave. It was time to get the hell out of here. So we got in the car, and I got on a train. Look at that, kites. I want a kite. Kites seem cool. Fun. I want one. Anyways, a friend of mine picked me up at the train station. We had been invited over to a dinner party. What was interesting though, is the fact that he can afford a PS5. The only thing that matters is the fact that we can play Crazy Chicken Shooter Bundle at 4K 60 FPS. Sadly, the night did not turn out this way. Instead, we did social activities. Great. I got on the bus. That sounded like a jet. It didn't have any lights on whatsoever. My destination, a jazz bar. My friend William had recovered from our little venture out in the woods. Therefore, he was ready to go out and jump bars. This stranger was nice enough to carry me between the bars we were hopping. On the downside though, he was also playing Crossroads with my life. However, William was nowhere to be found. It's okay. He was shortly after found at a toilet at an after party.
Are you happy now, buddy? You got the kebab?
A man approached us and said that this Buddha statue could be ours if we bought him a cup of coffee, an offer we obviously could not resist. Look at that, we're on the bus. We're cool, we're young entrepreneurs now. We've made a trade. We even got a nice view. I think we're enjoying the finer things in life now.
Oh, the sun's out.
Later that evening I went to an Oktoberfest, even though it's not October. But hey, that's okay. Something that was not okay, however, is the fact that they call these beers pints. This is not a pint. A pint is a measurement. It's been a week or two since I visited my father and my younger sisters. Therefore, it was time. First, I helped my father out move his truck. This truck has not been moved in many, many years. If you can't drag it, try pushing it. Good attempt.
The Bluetooth device is ready to tell.
I was now hanging out with my little sisters. They've got a swing inside, just like I did when I grew up. Everyone should have a swing inside. Swings are cool and fun. We even did some gymnastics. Made some Irish breakfast for lunch. Nice. Then, it was time for the youngest one to learn how to ride a bike. Alright, welcome to bike school. I learned to ride a bike when I was 2.5 years old. Therefore, I'm qualified and also considered a professional bike. Step 1. Get a bike. Now, stick on a pair of wheels. But better than wheels is a person holding it. A person holding it is the better option, because then you have to make small steering adjustments to not tip over. Now, get used to pedaling, but not looking down on your feet. You can't focus on everything you're doing, you just have to focus on the objective. Kind of like life. Wow, I am a great teacher. Step 2. Push them off a cliff, or maybe not off a cliff, but onto some grass. Failing is part of learning. You have to let it happen, but you might as well let it happen in a safer environment and in the early stages of learning. Step 3. Now, make them think that you're holding onto the bike when you're actually not. Then after a while, point out that they're doing it all on their own. They might freak out and fall, but that's okay. They've also realized that they can ride the bike all on their own. Step 4. And also the last step. Create competition. If it's a time to beat or just a race. If you do, well, they'll strive to be better and they'll keep at practicing. So, great idea. Thank you. Okay, let's put these steps to the test. After all the biking, we had taco night, which was nice.
Vill du ha guacamole till maten eller? Jo! Det vill ni visst. Vadå vill ni inte ha guacamole? Är ni galna eller? Klart ni ska ha guacamole till tacos. Ja.
After some nice food, it was time for me to move on. A friend of mine picked me up and we decided to go and check in on our friend. She had just crashed her car, but she was fine. She was alright.
What's up?
Everyone was getting a bit hungry though, so I decided to make a simple dish. I wasn't alone though in the kitchen. I was accompanied by a little kitten. The day after that, it was UFC 294. So a friend of mine picked me up, and we headed over to his place to watch it there. Volkanovski got kicked in the head. Great. That meant the fight was over, and the evening had just started, so I headed into town. There wasn't much else to do, so why not? A friend of mine lives nearby, and he's just moved into a new place, so he showed me around. It was pretty big and cool. I liked the view from the balcony. It was like in the middle of center, it's town, center of town. Cool. So I stayed for a couple of days. I slept on the couch. It wasn't too bad. It was time to start heading home. By the time I got home, I realized that I pretty much look homeless. And I'm now taking care of rabbits as well.
Hur Alfie? Get out of here now. Go on, Alfie.
That also meant that I had the house. I made quesadillas, we had hamburgers, and we played Cards Against Humanity. However, best of all was the radio station I'd created one day prior as a surprise. It was a radio station called Fish Radio, and it played nothing except for Williams' own songs.
Sitter på S, syna bluffen på grabben så dealade. Vi ska på fest, blanda örter som en medicinare. Jag är 007 men du är mer en Mr. Beanare. Sitter på toppfloor men letar efter något finare. Något som kostar summan som du betalade.
The radio station also had two hosts. One was called Spunkan.
Här har ni de 4 demokrater, Spunkan va? Spunkar aldrig, så det spunkar alltid först.
The other host's name was Pernilla.
Trevligt. Ja, det är jag som har hand om musiken här på stationen och det har jag gjort i några år. Pernilla Greva vet jag, för er som inte vet.
Jag rappar fisk, där alla andra rappar feminist. Om du inte tror på planen kan du smutta på mitt piss. Jag har ingenting att dölja som en exhibitionist.
Cool. These are parody songs, by the way. So, yeah. We also had a guy called Stefan who was reporting the weather for Sweden from an oil rig in Norway. Well, that was nice. Shortly after that, me and William headed out. Yeah, that's about it. Today, well, I did pretty much the same thing as yesterday. Some drinks, some that. I still had the house though, so I had my older sister over for some burnt food, and she's a great singer, so I took out the guitar, tried to play a song she knew. The weather was nice, so me and a friend headed out for a drive. And here we were, where we started, on a beach, trying to ride a snowboard, which didn't work. My friend's car is only street legal for a couple more hours, so instead of just standing around here, we decided to use it. My door swang open while taking a sharp turn at the beach. Good thing I had my belt on. There were a couple of other cars out here as well. And then we got stopped by the police, which was fine. The car isn't illegal to drive just yet. The bigger problem was actually when we got locked out of the car an hour later. Wow. Yep, who needs mountains, am I right? Ski passes and stuff. Expensive. Yeah. Look at that. Raccoon. Raccoons are cooler than pigeons. Did you know that? Here's 10 reasons why. You don't actually have to read this, but you have to admit they're kind of cool.